Hello everyone, Neil back once again with another quick streaming review for you. And today I'm going to be taking a look at Ahsoka, the long-awaited Star Wars series on Disney Plus. Spoilers! Now, I won't spoil everything, but I will still give you the heads up that I'm going to need to talk about the plot as well as the ending of each episode I review, because then, of course, I have to explain in the next episode I review what happened in the previous episode I reviewed. So, yeah, you know how that goes. All right, so so this episode is called Master and Apprentice, and it is written and directed by Mr. Dave Filoni, the demigod of of Star Wars animation and live action these days, certainly. And now this is a lovely adaptation of the animated show, and it's a great continuation of that story in Star Wars Rebels. But if you haven't watched that show and you've only seen Ahsoka Tano, as played by Rosario Dawson in The Mandalorian, then I would definitely advise doing a little bit of research, just a little bit, because you want to get to know some of these characters, like Hera and Sabine Wren, and definitely Ezra as well. And Grand Admiral Thrawn, too, the classic Timothy Zahn character. He's a wonderful Imperial character, and this show is pretty much all about looking for him and looking for Ezra, the young hero, as well. So, yeah, it definitely pays to be a Star Wars know-it-all, one of those know-everything Star Wars fans. But casual Star Wars fans, they may find it somewhat exclusionary, I'd say, but still, it's a pretty good episode. Episode 1, it does star Rosario Dawson, of course, reprising her role as Ahsoka, and she is the former Padawan of Anakin Skywalker. So if you don't know, yep, there's a lot to that. Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels deals with that a little bit as well. So Ahsoka is searching for the big baddie, Imperial Grand Admiral Thrawn, and we do get to see him later in the series, along with Ezra, certainly. There are other Rebels characters here that have been adapted to live action, such as Hera, who's this former pilot. She is now a New Republic general, and she's played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And we've also got Natasha Liu Bordizzo, and she plays Sabine Wren, the Mandalorian warrior, with all the graffiti and everything, and like the really, customized helmet and everything like that. She's pretty cool. She's got a little kitty and everything, little space kitty. But she wishes to be a Jedi, or at least like a Jedi. She wants to be, a warrior like a Jedi, certainly. And Ahsoka was kind of her mentor there for a bit, and they kind of touch on that a little bit in this show. Now, hopefully we'll get Zeb at some point in this series too, because we did see him briefly on the Mandalorian show. And another character here, a new character actually, is, I think, unless we've seen him before. He looks very familiar, and I'm going to say he has appeared before in Star Wars. I can't place him at the moment, but there's this droid called Huyang, who is played by David Tennant. He's this pilot, and he can also make lightsabers. Baylan Skoll is a new character who is a former Force user turned mercenary, and he's played by the late Ray Stevenson, and he's very good. He reminds me of Count Dooku, that kind of classy Force user, a former Jedi, I guess, who can wield a lightsaber very well. He's probably the most interesting and intriguing character so far here. He has a deadly apprentice named Shin Hati, and she's played by Ivana Sakno. And these two characters, at the beginning of episode 1, they wind up attacking this rebel ship, and they kill everyone on board to rescue Lady Morgan, this witch who seems obsessed with finding the map to finding Thrawn, and also getting her revenge on Ahsoka for imprisoning her. Meanwhile, Ahsoka obtains the star map to Thrawn and Ezra, hopefully too. Ahsoka, she then needs the help of Sabine Wren, who takes the map. She's actually able to unlock it, but she's later confronted by Hati, who stabs her through the chest in a duel. But she's okay, folks, don't worry. Sabine Wren, I'm sure, is not dead. Not yet, anyway. So the bad guys got the map, and the episode is dedicated to the memory of Mr. Ray Stevenson. So it's a decent start, and it does make me want to go back and rewatch Rebels. One thing that was pointed out to me was about this map to Thrawn that needs to be unlocked, and I don't know if the map is like indestructible or something, because these robot assassins, they have this mission to get the map, but when they lose the fight against Ahsoka, they initiate their self-destruct sequence, and I mean, that could destroy the map too, right? If they're within the zone. It's hard to say. It's hard to say kind of how much damage their thermal detonators or whatever whatever they used to blow themselves up with. It's hard to say how powerful they are, I guess. But the episode, it does balance a lot of fast-paced action with dialogue exposition very well. I wasn't looking at my phone very much, watching this episode. I really did enjoy the editing here. Some called this a slow episode, but I disagree. It's about 56 minutes long, and it went by like lightning for me anyway. So plenty of action and intrigue, and especially with these new villains. And Rosario is, of course, once again proving, she's the right choice for the lead in this show. She makes a great Ahsoka. And Winstead and Bordizzo, they're not quite up to her level in terms of the Star Wars acting yet, but I'm sure they'll get there. And, I'm not sure how casual fans will react to this story. Will it seem kind of jarring? Will it be like, well, wait, what? Like, who, what? Oh, there's some backstory here. I don't know. Like, that may happen to some fans, if they haven't watched Rebels. So definitely watch Rebels, or at least, get a nice summary of it before watching this episode, I would say. Because, the story just seemed to be already in progress, from that show. Still, I was definitely hooked. I was interested and invested from the get-go. And as soon as it ended, I wanted to dive right into episode 2. So it's Dave Filoni's world, and we're just living in it, Star Wars fans. So I thought it was great, and I'm highly jealous of Mr. Filoni's work. So great, yeah, it's not the best, but it was still very, very good. And I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10 for this episode. And now on to episode 2, which is coming in my very next video. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning into this quick review of Ahsoka Season 1, Episode 1. There'll be 8 episodes in total, by the way, so I'll probably will review them all eventually. But thanks for tuning in, and until next time, guys, may the Force be with you.